Welcome into the Ravens Rundown, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. So glad to have you with us. On today's show, we will look at the top 5 free agent options for your Baltimore Ravens, give you some names to watch for. But before we do that, though, I want to make sure not only that you are subscribed to the Ravens Rundown, but you have your notifications turned on as well, that you're a part of the Noti gang. So you're the first to know the latest happenings with your favorite team. If they make a free agent signing or a move of some sorts, we're going to drop whatever we're doing, and we're going to make a video for you so you know what's going on with the Ravens and have a complete breakdown of your team. We do it each and every day here on the channel. Subscribe now, turn on notifications so you never miss a moment, and having a little roll call action. If you have your noties turned on, you're part of the Noti gang, go ahead and spam gang in the comments section to show yourselves out, and we thank you for your support. First 10 people that type gang in the comments today, you're going to get a shout out later this week here on Ravens Rundown. We begin today looking at free agent options for the Baltimore Ravens as they are now on the bye week. In a much-needed bye week for this Baltimore Ravens team, as sure, they're in first place in the division. They're 6-3. They're on a winning streak, but the injuries have piled up. And so with that, as the Ravens continue to evaluate themselves at the halfway point of the season, where can they get better from here? Well, when it comes to free agent options, I'll say this much first. If they're going to go to the free agent market and do some shopping of some sorts, they're going to have to do some bargain shopping right now because cap space is limited. Just $3.07 million in cap space right now, so they don't have a whole lot to work with. And so then the next question becomes, if you do move around, then you got to cut somebody. Who are you going to cut? Ghostbusters? I mean, I'm wondering, what do you do at that point as far as trying to move a piece around if you want to upgrade to another position? One of the names that comes to mind right away is Nick Boyle, as that tight end room for the Ravens is getting pretty crowded there, but there's not a whole lot of obvious choices if you would just move on to cut salary from and then go spend that elsewhere. So your turn to be the GM. Before we reveal the list of 5 free agent options for Baltimore, you tell me, should the Ravens sign a free agent? Is there a move out there that you think they should go after? If so, type Y for yes. If not, type in for no. You might get an ad break. If so, take advantage of it. Let me know in the comments section if you'd make a move. Y for yes, in for no for your Baltimore Ravens. Number 1 on our list is the obvious. It's Odell Beckham Jr., and OBJ is going to have quite the sweepstakes of sorts on hands when he signs sometime in the next few weeks. We're waiting for him to get 100% healthy, but you have to imagine whether he signs with a team like the Rams, the Ravens, the Giants, the Packers, whoever it may be, there's going to be a lot of suitors that are very interested in OBJ. And you look at what he did last year with the Rams, here's a guy that jumped right in to a system that he did not know and filled that number 2 receiver role and was an instant impact player. The Rams would not have won the Super Bowl without OBJ. So even as he gets older in his career, there's value in OBJ at this point. Where I'm concerned, if you're the Ravens, it's not that he wouldn't help this team. He obviously would, and I think it would do wonders for Lamar Jackson if OBJ came on board with Rashad Bateman out. The next question then becomes, it's just that money situation that we talked about there. With other teams interested, is the money there, and can the Ravens make the necessary moves to bring in OBJ? That I don't know about. Number 2, another wide receiver, and this one might be a little bit cheaper, and that's Will Fuller. Now, Will Fuller previously played for Houston and Miami. He's never had a 1,000-yard season. And so with that, Will Fuller, a talented player, but you have to wonder, is he better than the options the Ravens already have at receiver with Demarcus Robinson, Devin Duvernay, Deshaun Jackson, and others here? That's for Eric DeCosta and company to figure out. But Will Fuller could be a good player that's not going to cost you the money that necessarily OBJ would on that front. So pick a wide receiver between these two. With all things considered, with the money you'd have to spend and the talent level and all factors involved here. Would you rather have OBJ or Will Fuller? If it's OBJ, type OBJ. If it's Will Fuller, type WF for Will Fuller. Let me know in the comments section below. Got a great deal that we are offering the fans of the Ravens Rundown here on the channel today. It is our T-shirt and hat combination, and we got a great deal for you. Right now, it's on sale, $23.99 to get this deal. You see the T-shirt with the Charm City football on it. You got the purple Ravens hat. It looks spicy. I can tell you that right now. Get yours today while supplies last. All in one place, chatsports.com/RavensCombo. That's chatsports.com/RavensCombo to get yours now. Number 3 on our list, we have our first defensive player, and that is Jaquiski Tartt, who previously played for the San Francisco 49ers and also spent part of the offseason with the Philadelphia Eagles. Started 14 games last season for 66 tackles he was able to pick up, but I think there was some frustration at times with Kyle Shanahan and that coaching staff there in San Francisco last year, and word kind of got out about that, of why he's still on the free agent market at this point in time. But he's a guy with starting experience. And if you're Baltimore, you hope Marcus Williams comes back soon. But we don't know until we know, right? And so maybe Tartt could potentially fill that void if Marcus Williams is going to be out longer. We'll see where his progress is and also if how close he is to 100%. But if that's the case, then you do need to bring in another option depending on Marcus Williams' situation of when he returns or not. Number 4 on our list is Janoris Jenkins. Jenkins played for the Rams, the Giants, the Saints, and the Titans. Was a All-Pro second-teamer in 2016. Started 13 games last season with 54 tackles and 1 interception. Another possibility here. You put him in that cornerback room, and you look at the corner situation for Baltimore. When Kyle Fuller went down, they never really replaced Kyle Fuller. There was never an obvious choice here. And we've already seen Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters deal with some injuries this year. And so if you're looking for some stability to add another piece or two, Janoris Jenkins has experience at playing at a high level. He potentially could be your guy. One more name to get to in a moment, but before we do, now it's your turn on the Ravens Rundown to name a player that you think the Ravens should sign, whether it's somebody we've mentioned or somebody we have not mentioned on today's show. You let me know. Give me one name who you think the Ravens should target in the bye week to potentially bring on this roster. Give me one name the Ravens should sign. Now, if they do make a signing, you know we're going to cover it here on the channel. Non-stop Ravens coverage all day, every day here on the channel. We had a great watch party on Monday. I would love to do more of those watch parties for all those Ravens fans out there. But if we're going to do more stuff like that, subscribers got to come up. We got to have more people subbed to be able to do more fun stuff like that. So go ahead and tell your friends. Make sure they subscribe as well. Let's get the flock represented big time here on the Ravens Rundown. Subscribe now. Tell all your friends. YouTube.com/RavensTV. And finally, the number 5 name on our list is Richard Sherman. Now, I'll say this, producer Seeps kind of laughed at this one, but hear me out on this as far as Richard Sherman goes. He expected to play this season. He was wanting this year to be his final year in the league, but nobody picked him up, so he ended up joining Amazon's Thursday Night Football coverage, and he's done a pretty good job. He's obviously got a future in TV. But if you're talking about a Baltimore Ravens team that's trying to make a playoff push, that has Super Bowl aspirations here, maybe this is the time to get a Richard Sherman that's been rested, that's still staying in shape, that's worked out, potentially to slide into one of those cornerback roles, like the nickelback spot we talked about, and be a veteran presence and be the guy in the locker room potentially that you want down the stretch for this team as they make this run to the Super Bowl. Maybe he's that guy where he wanted to end his career in 2022. You say, look, hey, you're going to finish out the regular season, and then as far as we go in the playoffs, it's all you, man. So you don't have the wear and tear, essentially, that we would normally be talking about if you were to sign Richard Sherman, let's say, at the beginning of the season. The numbers speak for themselves here. I mean, here's a guy that was a 5-time Pro Bowler, won a Super Bowl, previously played for Seattle, San Francisco, and Tampa Bay. But the durability has been a concern for Richard Sherman. The last 2 years, he's played in just 10 games in the last 2 seasons. So you would hope that if you were to bring him in, that he could hold it together until the end of the season. So before we go, should Baltimore sign Richard Sherman? Should they bring Richard Sherman out of semi-retirement unofficially, if you want to call it that, to come play for them? If you think they should, type S for sign. If not, type P for pass. Let me know if you think the Ravens should sign Richard Sherman. As always, I am on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at Tyler Jones Live, talking about your Baltimore Ravens on all of those social media platforms, and I will see you next time right here on the Ravens Rundown.